Let's be candid about how we're told to handle autumn leaves. You spend hours raking, build a massive pile, and wait. You have faith that by spring, nature will provide black gold. But April arrives. You peel back the gray surface and find wet cardboard. It's cold, heavy, and smells sour. You didn't fail. Your methodology did. You didn't build a composting system. You built a preservation system. In a cold, anaerobic pile, leaves don't decay, they pickle. You are relying on passive decay, which is the least effective way to generate soil. To get fertility this season, we must stop treating this pile as refuse and start treating it as a biological engine. The science: fuel and ignition. An engine needs fuel, an intake, and a spark. Your leaves are the fuel. In biological terms, a brown leaf is nearly 100% carbon. Carbon is energy, but it's incredibly stable. Think of a stack of firewood. You can water it or pray over it, but without a flame, that wood stays wood for decades. The igniter for your compost isn't fire, it's bacteria. Millions of microbes want to consume that carbon, but they can't do it on a carbon-only diet. They need the protein required to multiply. This is the carbon sequestration. To break it, we need an accelerant. If carbon is the log, nitrogen is the fire. To ignite the reaction, we must drop the carbon to nitrogen ratio from 80:1 down to the biological sweet spot of 30:1. The secret: the liquid accelerant. Most people sprinkle dry fertilizer or coffee grounds, but gravity wins. The nitrogen sifts to the bottom and never touches the leaves. To start the fire, nitrogen must coat every leaf. We use a liquid accelerant, the Homestead Formula. If you have livestock, mix 2 shovelfuls of fresh chicken or rabbit manure into a 5-gallon bucket of water. Stir until it looks like dark coffee. It's loaded with nitrogen and live gut bacteria to jumpstart the culture. The Suburban Formula. If you don't have animals, dissolve 2 cups of blood meal or pelletized chicken manure into 5 gallons of water. The hearth. Preparing the site. Before we strike the match, we must build the hearth. First, site selection. You need a patch of exposed earth, not concrete. Your pile needs a conduit to the soil, so organisms can migrate up to process material and retreat back when it gets too dry. Second, you must shred your leaves. A whole leaf is a waterproof shingle designed to shed rain. If you stack whole leaves, you're layering thousands of tiny tarps. The interior stays bone dry. By passing a mower over them, you turn shingles into sponges. You exponentially increase the surface area, making the carbon digestible for the microbes. A pile of whole leaves lasts a year. Shredded leaves can vanish in a month. The assembly, the 18-day lasagna. Now we construct the engine. Think of this as a lasagna. Layering. Spread 6 inches of shredded leaves on your 4x4 patch of earth. Marinating. Sprinkle your nitrogen liquid over the layer. The agitation. Reach in and mix it by hand. Every fragment must be imbued with the solution. The squeeze test. Grasp a handful and squeeze. If water streams out, it's too wet, anaerobic. If it falls apart, it's too dry, dormant. You want it to hold its form like a ball of dough, releasing only a single drop between your knuckles. Repeat this until the pile is at least 3 feet wide and 3 feet high. This mass is critical. Anything smaller cannot insulate itself to retain the heat we're about to generate. The maintenance, the 18-day cycle. Once the pile is built, cover it loosely with a tarp to retain heat but allow it to breathe. Days 1 to 3, let it rest. The bacteria are awakening and metabolizing. Day 4, check the core. You should see steam. If you insert your hand, it should feel intensely hot, ideally between 130 degrees and 150 degrees Fahrenheit. This heat is the signal that the system is operational, killing weed seeds and pathogens. The turn. By day 5, the bacteria have exhausted the oxygen. You must turn the pile. Move the cool outer material to the center and the hot core to the exterior. Aerate it, perform the squeeze test, and add water if the heat has dried it out. The routine. Repeat this turn and moisten every 2 days. Within 24 hours of each turn, the oxygen influx will act like a bellows and the temperature will spike again. The harvest. Black gold. Around day 12, the smell of damp leaves vanishes, replaced by a deep, earthy fragrance. By day 18, the pile will stop generating heat. This isn't a failure, it's the finish line. The heat-loving bacteria have done their job. What's left is black gold. It's dark, cool, and crumbles like chocolate cake. When you spread this on your garden, you aren't just adding filler, you are inoculating your soil with vitality. You are returning all the solar energy those trees pulled from the sun last summer back into the earth to fuel your next harvest. The conclusion, closing the cycle. Every wheelbarrow of this compost represents 10 bags of soil you didn't have to buy and 10 bags of plastic you didn't have to throw away. It is self-sufficiency in its purest form. You know exactly what's entering your food. No hidden chemicals, no fillers, just your leaves and your effort. Don't try to compost every leaf on your property this weekend. Start small. Build one pile. Mix one bucket of accelerant. Once you see that steam rising on a crisp morning for the first time, you won't need me to persuade you. You'll realize you don't need to purchase fertility, you just need to unlock it. The leaves are falling. The system is waiting. It's time to ignite your fire. If this guide changed how you look at your yard, subscribe and let's cultivate the future together. The next secret of nature is just beneath the surface.